this guy is the most impressive. They tried to knock you out, they tried to kick you where it hurts, you got up, you kept going, that was in there.
I think they know the writing's on the wall. Maguire, Senior, back to Maguire, Danny Maguire for Leeds! The young hero to win the grand final, maybe!
Hi everybody and welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by ACD&B, who are a branding and creative design agency based in Farsley, Leeds. They create standout brands, so if any companies out there need a brand new logo or a brand refresh, just get in touch with ACD&B. We are back for the new season, for the 2023 Super League season. This is the match review panel for Warrington versus Leeds. It was the first game of Super League for 22-23. Joining me as always, my co-host, our Statman Reese. How are you, Reese?
I think I've just about calmed down from Thursday. Just about. Leeds United didn't help that yesterday, admittedly.
Yeah, good point. This is a complete Leeds United no-go zone.
It's been an utter arse of a weekend. Let's put it that way.
They are disgusting, and I cannot stand them.
And Riders kicked that off. They kicked that off on Thursday night. So I've just about calmed down from Thursday, but I've been to go watch Championship Rugby League today. Going to watch Keighley against Newcastle, which is a good day. If anyone hasn't gone to see Championship Rugby, I do applaud you to go do it. It is good fun.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What did you pay for the ticket? And
it was it was a good day out actually. So it was £15 for the ticket at Keighley. There was 1,600 people there, which actually I was a bit disappointed by. I thought it'd be a bit more. Yeah. But it was a good game. There was one spell, and this is not really a good example of the end game because there was some really good quality in it. But there was one moment where Keighley kicked off after they scored a try. And nothing or whatever, kicked off. The ball bounced in front of about 4 Newcastle Thunder players. None of them went to claim it, and it bounced over the dead ball. So they had to do a goal line dropout. So everyone then was taking a mick out of Newcastle at that point. Newcastle did a dropout, and the Keighley player dropped it. And it was this is why Rugby League can't be on TV, or Championship can't be on TV. Like, this was the most awful bit of Rugby League I've ever seen. But no, it was £3.50 a pint. That's always a winner. It was good fun. So,
would you recommend it to people?
Yeah, I haven't gone to watch Championship Rugby before, or League One Rugby, and I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to, because I think Keighley played Bulls on March 26th.
Are you going to go to that?
I'm going to go to that because they don't like each other, so that'll be good fun. But no, it was good fun. I really enjoyed it, and it took a bit of the edge of the weekend off.
So we just keep talking about Keighley then instead?
I would rather, but we do have a guest waiting in the wings to talk about.
We do, a good guest.
One of the guests that actually I first ever appeared on with.
I think it was.
Yeah,
both. I think you both made your debut at the exact same time. Who are we talking about?
We've got our Josh on. So I'll bring from the band Kimber, who will be big at some point, but Josh is on. So hi, Josh. You all right?
Hiya, lads. How you doing?
Grand.
Welcome back, love.
It was against Warrington this time last year, wasn't it?
I thought it was Catalan.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Was that second game of the season?
Whatever it was the coldest game at Headingley I've ever been to.
Yeah, you're probably right. I remember us talking about the Warrington game last year, because we were saying that we'd showed some fighting spirit, of which there was none this week. But yeah, wow, a lot's happened since then, hasn't it?
Halcyon days of Richard Agar.
Yeah, last time I was on was the grand final preview.
I think we're both pressing. I think
We're
I
both
think
pressing the
Reece
same
there.
thing, like.
Just for those watching on YouTube, we're both pressing for the. Anyway, yes. Andrew, in the comment section on our live chat on YouTube says, "As bad as anything served up under Agar on Thursday." So, this is the Warrington Leeds match review. Unfortunately, we are going to stick to the same format, the same theme as we have on previous match reviews. So we have to find positives from this to start.
I have one. I do have one.
Oh, wow.
I have two, actually.
Oh, wow. You didn't go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I have three. I didn't go.
Go
Number
for it.
Number two, it's only game one. It's only the first game of the season.
No, right.
As you rightly said on Twitter, as much as my rage got the best of me on Thursday, in Rowan, which I completely still do, and it is still game one.
I liked Ragey Reese.
Oh, it was bad. And exactly as Andrew just put in the comments as well, actually, it was Sangare. Oh, number four. In fact, Andrew's made two good quotes. One, I thought Sangare was absolutely excellent. I thought he was when he played.
Yeah.
And number four, so I've got 4 positive out of this. This is good, isn't it? You didn't think you expect that, did you?
No.
I
don't know how.
We did a shot kickoff at the start and we won it. We got it. We got a shot kickoff at the start and we got it back.
Josh, any positives different to Reese there for you?
The positive from I got a positive from Thursday night.
It
was the 2-hour documentary with Kevin Sinfield before.
Yes, brilliant.
That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. It flew by.
That was amazing. Much better way to spend 2 hours.
I was in such a good mood going into the game after that as well. It was absolutely brilliant.
Everyone just watched that.
Yeah, just watch that and then switch off.
Can we talk about? Is there anything else we can talk about? We spoke about Keithley, spoke about Ken. We touched on the game a little.
We could just end the pod, to be fair.
Yeah. See you next week, everybody. Thanks a lot.
No one's going to be listening to this anyway, are they?
No.
We say that. We've actually got a lot of people watching live at the moment, which is more than we ever do.
I agree with Reese. I thought Sangare was the only positive on debut. Got himself a try. Blake Austin got 2 assists, but then there were other bits of his game, like his pathetic attempt. I think it were on Darryl Clark for the Josh Thulis try. I just thought, oh God, that the defending there were diabolical. But I think the only positive for me was Sangare, who I thought went well, really well. And to be honest, I thought the kit looked half decent as well. I thought it.
It didn't look as bad actually as I thought it did.
Yeah,
I thought it looked a lot
same.
better. Yeah, I actually thought when it came out, and I said to my mate before it came, I hate this kit.
Yeah, me too.
And again, another topic we're going to choose to talk about other than the game. But yeah, and I actually, when it came out, and it's funny enough, actually, when I was at Keithley today, I don't like Keithley's kit that they bought out this year. But again, when my mate said to me, it looks better on players or people that are actually fit and that are athletic. Like it looks better when they're actually a half decent build of a human being. But I actually thought the kit looked okay, to be fair. But as Chris from ACD&B said, it's got that blue is very similar to the silver and blue kit last year, which we just didn't win in. So as he rightly said, we should now bin off this blue kit and just make a pink kit.
Yeah, just bring back another pink kit.
Yeah.
Again.
But yeah.
So that's the positives.
I think there's one other positive. I thought Dylan Alfort's finished that try well.
And I like his new haircut as well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Just jealous. What were you going to say, Josh? Sorry.
How do you think Jared did? I thought he did okay when he came on.
I thought we were better when he came on, but
he was better. We were better when he came on.
I thought he went well. I don't know. I think where we are at the moment, someone in the comments, Pat Best has said, how soon can we shift A's and C's? I think that's a bit premature, but I would like to see Cruz in there. I think Jared
Cruz plays well there.
I was going to say, I saw 2 better halfbacks in the Championship today. I'm going to put that out there. In Dane Chisholm and Luke Gale, I saw 2 better halfbacks than Aidan Caesar.
So I think Jared's starting for me, Josh, and I'd like to see Cruz back in the halves and just see if that can develop. I mean, there's going to be
when he was playing. When he was playing, was it a couple of years ago? He played a lot of games at 7.
He got the dream team playing at 7.
Yeah,
he did.
So there's a decent player in there. I actually think sometimes he plays better at 7. I think he tries to do too much at 9 sometimes.
We have to talk about our fullback, who had probably definitely his worst game in a Leeds.
It was the worst game of fullback I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not sure if it's the worst game of Richie Marley's career, but am I right in saying he slipped for the Walker try?
He missed a tackle for the first.
I think he knocked on 3 times, but of the 2 knock-ons, we conceded 2 tries. So it were like 20 points.
He missed a tackle for the first try as well.
Yeah, it was such a game. I mean, Josh, are we now looking at, to get a reaction, Josh, are we looking at Myler being dropped and Ash going back in there and then patching up on the wing?
That is something I'd like to see. Particularly how I think Rowan's game is to run first. It's such a running game, and he likes his spine to run first. Like, first thought is to run, and that when we saw us playing well last year, that was like the ethos of the team. Myler's not really that player. He's more of a ball player, fullback, and Hanley would just get you loads of meters. We know he would. But what worries me is we're already like in the back line. We've got no centres. So who plays it? So it was Hanley and Fussy Tua with Alford and
Roberts.
Was it Roberts on the wing? Yeah. So if you're taking one of them out, and then if we're talking about maybe starting Jared and putting Cruz into the halves, dropping Caesar, I just think we're already quite light. What I would like to drop him, because that was such a terrible performance.
I agree.
It was absolutely laughable.
Yeah.
It really was. It was bad for a pre-season game.
I mean, that's a lot politer than I put it on Thursday.
What do you think? Yeah.
He was. Hang on, what time? He was fucking dreadful. Let's put it that way. He was absolutely horrendous. He was.
Why does it matter what time it is? Some people could be listening to this at morning on way to work.
Oh, true, yeah. But he was absolutely dreadful, was Myler. But again, it's one game. We've seen Myler go from a bad performance to being the next game being absolutely world class. And he does have that world class game in him. I don't think Rowan's the type of guy that will drop him after one game.
I think he has to be dropped, Reese. I think that performance.
I don't think Rowan is that, but it was awful.
Allow it, even if it's just for one game.
We don't have the depth. We don't have the depth to replace it.
I've made the depth. We've spoken about in pre-season the versatility of everybody. Now's the chance, because there's no way Myler can have that game and play again.
Your versatility was playing today wearing number 4 at Hull FC. And he got a try that was assisted by Brad Dwyer. That was your versatility for fullback, was Liam Sutcliffe.
Jack Walker.
And Jack Walker, he's out for the whole season again, isn't he? Pretty much,
Yeah.
Unbelievably.
It just that guy has no luck at all. But no, Myler's performance was shocking. I don't think Rowan will drop him, because I don't think Rowan's that guy. And if he does, I'll applaud it, because I think it needs to happen. But yeah, you put Hanley back there. And even then, you're still stretching that back line even further. It didn't work putting Fussy and Hanley in the centres. I thought
they looked like they swapped anyway in the second.
They did swap, and I thought Lewis Roberts actually had quite a good game. I thought there's definitely a player in Lewis Roberts. I think he's got potential to be a good player. It was just quite a hard game for him to play and to make his debut. But if Myler's not on that team sheet on Friday, I will be applauding it.
I agree. One person whose name I just don't think, not only doesn't fit on a Leeds team sheet. I'm not talking about Zayn Tavano here. I think Super League is James Donaldson. What is the space for James Donaldson in this side at all? We are stacked in the back row. We've had Leon Ruan be like the start of pre-season, couple of tries. I think he got an assist as well. Doesn't get a game in the first game against Warrington. Josh, do you think there's space for James Donaldson? Morgan Gannon, Reece Martin, Ruan, Warren, Bentley, Walters, O'Connor, Cam, stacked in there. Players who can play in back row. I think enough is enough for me, to be honest. But am I being too harsh, Josh?
What? Say that again. What do you mean? The too many.
James Donaldson. Any space?
Oh, James Donaldson. No, not at all. I didn't want him. I never wanted him. No, never wanted to sign him in the first place. We've got so much cover in that position, and he just constantly plays slightly below average. He's a constant 5 out of 10. He might not do anything to, I don't know, he might not lose us a game or anything like that, but you bring him on, he offers no impact. He might get a few penalties for running into someone's
great
arms.
at that.
No, but he didn't get one. That's how bad Thursday night was. Even James Donaldson didn't get a penalty for a high tackle on him. That's how bad Thursday night. That's the one thing he brings to the side, and he didn't even win a penalty for a high tackle.
It's just so hard to think of Thursday night. I've tried to forget about it. I didn't know I was reviewing this game, and then Eddie texted us yesterday. Today was it yesterday? I thought, yeah, okay. I don't know how much I want to
forget about
bring
that
back.
until my big head pops up. Fancy reviewing it?
yeah. Nothing happened, did it? It was such a flat game for us. We, I don't know. Afterwards on Twitter, I couldn't even be bothered to get on there to defend Rowan, or it was just so awful. Nothing went for us.
Oh, don't say that in front of Eddie. Did you hear what you just said?
What?
I couldn't get on Twitter to defend Rowan. You said that in front of the priest.
I'm not the priest.
Well,
I'm the converted.
I didn't. Did you hear defend Rowan? That was the thing. I wasn't the one pointing the finger.
So I think the biggest thing to take away is obviously we did end up getting battered, completely embarrassed. But I think, Reece, it's how we react against Hull now at home.
Oh, absolutely.
We need a massive reaction, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you saw at halftime, Rome was kicking and screaming, you could see it. And so I don't think he will let them know how he felt after that game and how they should have felt after that game, because it was, quite frankly, it was pathetic. But it's week one. It's not, that doesn't set the tone for the season, but you allow it to set the tone for the season if you do it again in week two. So they have to come out and make a difference against Hull. Against the Hull side that scored 32 points today. I mean, admittedly, they conceded about 30 in about 20 minutes.
They were playing Cass. I won't read too
much.
They
were playing Cass, yeah. I enjoyed the Westerman songs today, actually. But it has to be that we talked about in the preview on the season with Jono from the Red Robin and with Bry. It's about momentum. We had momentum towards the end of last year. You can't start the season with that momentum. You have to right that wrong. And the only way to right that wrong is to come away from Headingley on a Friday night with a W. And a much better performance. I mean, I'm going to go into the stats now because there's stats in here that, I mean, so let's look at missed tackles. Myler 4, Hanley 4, Austin 5, Caesar 4, Leeming 5, Martin 4. The missed tackles all over the place.
That's diabolical.
It is diabolical. Meters-wise, we had one player over 100, which was Blake Austin, which surprised me a lot. Blake Austin got 148 meters. But you look at the other meters in the team. Fussy Tua, 74 off 11 carries. Cruz Leeming got 22. Zayn Ivano, 61 off 7. Reece Martin, 50 off 9. Cameron Smith, 62 off 15. Lasone, 65 off 9. Alford, to be fair, 93 off 15. Sangre, 52 off 8. The worst one of the lot was Aiden Caesar. Do you want to know what Aiden's, how many meters? In fact, guess, how many meters do you think Aiden Caesar made?
26.
Lower. Next. Josh Hugo.
15.
Less. Eddie, you
Less
go.
than 15 metres.
Eddie, you go.
Wow.
Less than 15. How many did you get?
9.
Less than that. Josh, you go.
Is that right?
Less than 9, Reese.
Less than 9.
Aiden Caesar made less than 9 metres.
Aiden Caesar had 8
Just
carries
catching
for
pass.
8 metres.
8
Wow.
metres. Thanks for coming, Aiden.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Tackles wise, Cruz did 41 total, so that is
8
bear in
metres.
mind, I
That's
do.
shocking, isn't it?
Sorry, are you still
We
on the
can't gloss
meters?
over that. I don't think we can gloss over that.
He must just catch and pass.
8 metres.
Exactly, that's what I said. James Chisholm or Luke Gale doing better, and I saw that today. Look,
Off the back of that, you've got to say Morgan's got to get in.
Well, funny you say that.
Morgan
Andrew
or
has
Jack
said
or
the
Cruz.
Tinker Man might have Gannon at 6 next week.
Yeah.
At 7 or whatever.
I think for me, that's as bad as Myler. So that's to me,
Yeah.
and everyone knows how cutthroat I can be. That's Myler and Caesar gone. They should be
not good,
playing
is it?
next week. You can't defend that. You genuinely cannot defend Myler's performance. And I knew Caesar had a rough game, but 8 metres. Diabolical.
He's not got enough credit in the tank, has he, to enough credit in the bank to justify. Well, this is his last year of his contract, isn't it? And Austin. The thing is that next year the spine could be so different because them two could be gone, and then Myler, he's only got 1 year after that, but he's getting older. It could be so different this time next year. Do you just cut your losses and start to plan ahead, put Sinfield in? I don't know.
I would.
Yeah, that the bet would be at what point do you bring Sinfield in? Because that again,
You bring him in,
I said the word pathetic earlier. That is pathetic from Caesar.
You bring him in now because you say to Aiden Caesar, that's unacceptable. We've got a kid here, bags of potential. You're in. There's the poor performance from the senior. So you bring the rookie in. Agree with that, Josh? Time for Sinfield.
Yeah, or because it's a big position, scrum half, isn't it? It's not like 6 where you can just probably get away with being a good runner. You could put Cruz there, and Corey Johnson's back from injury, I think, and you could have him as your backup on the bench with Jared at 9. But yes, definitely. I'm not surprised that we didn't hit the ground running because all of pre-season we were just messing about with different ideas, and I thought it was really interesting on the pod that you did with Rob Oates when he said Rowan sees pre-season totally different to everyone. He really sees it as an opportunity to test things out, test different systems, test people in different positions. Obviously, little trick plays or what have you with the short kickoffs, things like that. He sees that as totally as a time to test things out. When he said that, I did think, I wonder if maybe we're not going to hit the ground running on Thursday. And, that's putting it lightly. We were absolutely diabolical. And I'm, Rowan wouldn't have wanted that. But it didn't surprise me too much. And that's, I didn't get as angry as Reese because I just sort of thought...
No one did.
Throw it away.
No one did, mate.
I'd sort of forgotten about it almost as soon as it happened. Me and my brother were just laughing watching it.
What, laughing at Reese?
How are you laughing?
No. Laughing at the game. It was so bad. It was so bad. We were just laughing at it. And
Sam Cassiano caught a high ball. You can't laugh at that. You can't laugh at Sam Cassiano out jumping your entire back line for a try. You can't laugh.
He didn't even jump, did he? He just put his arm.
No,
up
he
and
didn't.
got
He
it.
just went like that.
I think it was Milo and Austin.
I'm going back to Thursday night already. You can't laugh at that. Like that was quite frankly just wrong.
Yeah, but I think Rowan showed us last year that he's a good coach, and he's a good coach with a few decent players. And we have lost quite a few good players. And I think Rowan is. I think Rowan's project is a 2-3 year one. It's not. Let's go and win the grand final this year. I mean, obviously that'd be great, and that is what they're aiming for. But with the signings, I think it was pretty obvious to me. We've let go some big earners on the cap, and we only offered Zach a certain amount what Rowan thought he was worth. He wasn't going to go overs on him and tie the cap up with Zach. I think he's looking for further down the line. And you get these project players, some might not work at all, but those that do will be loyal to the club because the club's taking a chance on them. They'll be giving that extra 10% rather than an Aussie import. And they'll probably be on unders, which leaves you room next year for us to get a scrum half and a standoff, which is what we're going to need to go forward, unless Sinfield does break through this year or what have you. But we're definitely going to have, I would say, in that spine, we need 2 players next year. Between 1, 6 and 7, we probably need 2 players minimum.
Yeah.
And I think this is all just part of, I'm trying to see the bigger picture rather than just we were terrible on Thursday night. I think that this is like Rowan testing all those different positions out. I feel like that's him with an eye to the future. Yes, it's on this season as well, but it's also, what could happen in a few years' time. Like Nene McDonald, he's in his, how old is he? He must be in his 30s. Couple of years' time, that backline could be totally different. And I feel like Rowan isn't just building a team for this year. I feel like he's building a team for a new era. And he's shown to us what he can do with some quality in the grand final, getting us from 9th to the grand final last year. So we've got to just trust in him that he knows what he's doing, because he does. And a game like this, obviously no one wants that, but it's just part of the growing pains of this young side with not a lot of experience. They'll all be better for it.
In terms of the squad next year and quarter spots, which everyone knows I'm obsessed with, Rowan's going to have, because we've got Tetavano, Fussy Tua, Austin and Caesar, I believe, all 4 coming off contract at the end of this year. So you'd believe, I can't see any of those staying. Fussy Tua, no. There's been rumours that he's unhappy and he's homesick. Austin and Caesar, I think, I don't even think they'll get a Super League gig. I think they'll just both fly back and retire or do something else. And Tetavano, similar, might get another gig in NRL, sorry. But so that's 4 spots, 4 quarter spots that Rowan's going to have. So in terms of that spine, like you mentioned there, Josh, is pretty much going to have a decent run in terms of recruitment, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's why he's sort of signed a lot of these project signings, because the ones that would work out, it all just keeps it free for next year. We should have a lot coming off the cap, and we should have, like you say, quarter spots available. So it might be that we do go and get someone, who's pretty impressive. I remember when Rowan signed. that wouldn't be bad, would it? I remember when Rowan signed. Tony Smith said in an interview that Rowan's talent ID is incredible, and he said he always goes to Rowan for advice on players from the NRL and reserve grade. So I'm sure that he will. He seems to know everyone as well. After every game, he seems to go up to all the stars of the opposite side, like having a catch up, doesn't he? And I think that he. I just really think, I might be way off. It's just my gut, but I just think that he's planning towards something much bigger than what we see right in front of us now.
I agree. I think everyone just needs to relax, take a breather. Remember last year under Agar, fighting in 11th spot with Toulouse and the relegation, then Rowan came in and all the way to the grand final. Like Reece said earlier, it's just the first game. But I think what's absolutely key is a massive reaction in the next game against Hull. I think that's absolutely key. In terms of the short kickoff and inventive play, Reece, we did a little bit of it at Warrington. Did it drive you nuts, or do you want to see more of it?
Oh, that first kickoff was glorious. I was so excited when we were kicking off, and I saw that we were kicking off. I was so excited. And then we did the short kickoff, and we got the ball back. I thought, we're onto something here. We're onto it. We're gonna do this all the time. They did. I think it worked once after that. There's a time and place for it for me.
They've been doing it a bit in the NRL. They've been doing it a bit in the NRL.
It was Italy that started it, wasn't it?
They were doing it last year. They were doing it last year in the NRL a little bit.
Right.
And there was a big conversation there about if you get really good at it and you get it back, why wouldn't you try and do it every restart?
I mean, when you've got
same stuff as us.
You've got Sam Walters, he's 6'7". Like, he literally should just be able to put his arm up and go, "Thank you."
Bit like Cassiano,
Exactly. Has Cassiano caught on the line with no one competing against it, and Myler looking in the background, going, "Oh, look, he's about to catch that ball. My job as a fullback is meant to stop that."
Cassiano's done that before as well, and didn't he do it for Catalan's? Was it Magic Weekend against Saints? Sure, he did it then as well. Caught one. I think he did it against us as well.
I think. Sorry, before one positive that I think is worth mentioning is we really did have quite a few players out that are game breakers for us.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Exactly what I was about to say. No, go ahead.
Newman can't. There's been so many times in the past where Newman has dug us out of a hole just by getting the ball and going on one of those sort of athletic runs that he does, when he just powers through. Nene McDonald, we've lost Caesar for Nene. Sorry, we've lost Sutcliffe for Nene McDonald. I'm assuming that's going to be an improvement. A proper out-and-out centre, big body. That's to come back. James Bentley was great for us last year once he improved his disciplinary record. There's some important players to come back.
Aledzki,
yeah.
We missed
probably
Aledzki
our best player last year.
We got absolutely destroyed in the middle. I mean,
credit
where credit's due. Paul Vaughan was absolutely immense.
Yeah,
for Warrington. Like he in the middle, our middle was absolutely bossed. And I mean, well and truly bossed. I mean, look at the meters of the props. So Sony 65, Tom Holroyd 27, Sangare 52, Tetvano 61. We were absolutely well and truly bossed up the middle. If I look at the meters that some of the Warrington players made, let's have a look at this then. So James Harrison 148, Paul Vaughan 210 meters.
62-year-old Paul Vaughan 210 meters.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like that. I mean, Paul Vaughan was immense. And I mean, Andrew's saying in the comments he thought Lasone and Holroyd looked gassed after 5 minutes. I thought Lasone's second stint was a lot better than his first. But we got caught off guard. But without Aledzki, sorry, I know you're saying sorry, but I'm saying sorry as well. But Aledzki, without Aledzki in that middle, it really told. Like we talked about missing key players.
We're supposed to be loads on this pod last year on Twitter. We were supposed to be giving Mick the support because he was the one constant leading us by himself constantly.
He was the lead meter maker out of any forward last year was Aledzki.
Exactly. So we can't have our pack performing like they did. I keep saying last night, but on Thursday, it's like we're expecting him to come back again and lead us again because without him, we don't. I know it's only one game, but we are fans and we do have knee-jerk reactions. But I mean, we're going to need much more than those stats across the whole team. But that pack is clearly pathetic there. Just
on one game, like we said. The proof of the pudding is Friday night.
Why can't we sign? Why can't our why can't our imports be?
Why can't our import get 210 meters in his debut? Why can't Zayn Tetvano be doing 200 meters every game?
He done
Matt Duffy,
6 games for Leeds.
Matt Duffy, Josh Maguire, Paul Vaughan. How do they? Bevan French, Jai Field. How do teams get these imports? What's wrong with us? What are we doing wrong? That's what we need next year.
Jai Field was the one that got away, wasn't he? Under
he was.
Connection.
PR game yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
It was really apparent that whilst Jai Field is a very, very good runner and a very good player, he's really bad at passing the ball.
Yeah, he is.
Like Paul Liam Marshall, he had no God in hell's chance of catching any ball from Jai Field on yesterday. But yeah, going back to the point that you were saying, yes, we had big players missing and we lost the middle. And these signings were meant to bolster the middle. But we got absolutely well and truly bullied.
That's my biggest worry because I know he's probably best prop in league along with Walmsley, but Mick being missing, every other big man, every other prop were there. Even Tom were back, So there's only Mick missing. The more stats you've read out to me, Reese, the more would it have become.
Sorry.
Well, that was last year. Warrington's pack was woeful. They were terrible last year, and I feel like they went out and addressed it. That was their thing. They signed that Thomas Michaeli, or however you say it, and then Maguire and Paul Vaughan, and they had a point to prove. Cassiano Dudson. They've pretty much got a new pack, and they're all big lads, aren't they? Big meter players, and I think they did. This isn't an excuse, but I think they had a point to prove because they were so terrible last year. I mean, I thought like George Williams looked world class last night, and it just shows
Eddie's favourite player.
It shows what a good pack. Shows what a good pack can do for your halves. Like how were Austin and Caesar supposed to play behind that dross last night? I absolutely love Reece Martin, but I thought it was possibly his worst game for us last night.
Just in terms of Reece, you could have said that for loads, couldn't you, Josh? It was one of those games like Myler, Caesar. Clearly, they've had absolute stinkers. I do think Tom Holroyd will come good. I've got really. I do.
I really rate him.
There's a starting spot for Justin Sangre next week.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
With the way that he played in that last 10 minutes, even Ryan Bailey even tweeted out saying that he needs a starting shirt next week. But like honestly, the way that he played, I mean, he took his try really, really well, but his defense,
it's a good line, wasn't
it? He would, and he ran. There's a starting spot for Justin Sangre next week, and you're dropping someone for it, but he was the only shining light in that team.
I think so. We spoke about Matt Duffy briefly there. I think this guy's going to light up the league. Do you agree, Josh? Do you think it's going to tear it up this year, Matt Duffy?
Yeah, the type of players that, even though he didn't go up that well in the NRL, the type of players that do well over here are the ones who can run fast. Yeah. And he can run fast. I sound like Michael Norman from the square ball, just run fast. I think that, you mentioned Jai Field and Bevan French as well. Like he's just going to be one of them. I think he'll.
I agree.
I think he'll do really well. I think Jake Clifford could do well as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon. But
do you want to know how many more meters Matt Duffy made than Aidan Caesar?
Oh, I'd say Duffy got 180 more meters.
Oh, I've done the multiplication because fancy Spanishy. He made 19.875 times more meters than Aidan Caesar had, which was 159 meters. Wow. Duffy got 159.
How many meters did Myler get?
Myler got 54.
It's just so bad, isn't it? I think like the standard in the NRL now is 200 meters for a fullback.
Yeah.
That is, Tedesco.
Really?
Yeah, Pape. Yeah.
I don't think any of our fullbacks got over 200 last year. I'd have a look. But
no,
I don't think
we're nowhere near the NRL standard.
Duffy
Manu got 300 metres when
did.
New Zealand played Tonga in that mid-season test.
Yeah. Duffy also got 6 tackle busts, so he broke 6 tackles.
And a try.
Yeah. Josh Foulis got 7, by the way. I mean, look at these stats and mixed press. Dal Clark, 6 tackle busts. James Harrison, 5 tackle busts. Cassiano, 6 tackle busts. Michele, 3 tackle busts. Greg Minikin, 4 tackle busts. We missed so many goddamn tackles.
I think as well that the result and the tries, it meant a lot, but you could see it meant loads to Darryl Powell, couldn't you? On the Sky coverage, and I do think, and we kind of said on our Super League preview before a ball was kicked, I said that I think Warrington will go really well. Do you agree with that, Josh? Do you think?
I put them. I think I put them third in my predictions. I think they've signed well. They've signed really well, and I think they've got a point to prove. I do. I think people are sleeping on them. I think they're going to be good this year.
It must be me because I had their 8th. Just shows what I know.
8th? I thought you had them higher than that.
I mean, that's surely got to be Their squad is unbelievable. That's surely a judgment call on what you think to Powell, because to have a team that good in 8th, that is just.
You've got to remember that last year we ran a section called the sack race and the Darryl Powell sack. It wasn't even the sack race; it was a Darryl Powell.
It was, has Darryl Powell still got a job?
Yeah.
The podcast.
Even him surely can't take that team to miss the playoffs.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
If that's not a one-off, then I think Warrington are a force to reckon with this year.
Do you think we are? I've said before, we are fans. We do have knee-jerk reactions, but in terms of the centre positions, Newman and McDonald, they're going to come in. Oleski's going to come in. Bentley's going to come in. In 2, 3, 4, 5 games max time, Reese, we're going to be squad-wise. We're going to be possibly at full strength. Do you think come 5 games we're going to be in a much better position than feeling better, more positive on the pod?
We haven't seen Nene, have we? We haven't seen Nene play. No, I haven't. I don't have Premier Sports. I didn't really watch the Championship last year other than the highlights. So my knowledge on Nene is very, very limited. So I don't want to say that he'll be either world class or be crap because I haven't watched him play. We know how world class Harry Newman is. He is a game changer. He can make something out of nothing. But he has to be fit, and we've rarely had a full season at Harry Newman. If he was fit from week 4, week 5 to the end of the year, you put us in the top 4 without a doubt because he is that class.
Top 4? Wow.
Well, at the moment, based on Thursday night, what do you expect? But I think that we've made let Liam Sutcliffe go.
Say that again, Reese.
Sorry, it's my Wi-Fi.
I think we've lost Reese. We'll have to come back in.
Did you say we made a mistake about Sutcliffe?
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back. Oh.
Do you agree with that, Josh?
That was the only one I really felt a bit upset about leaving last year. I actually wasn't bothered about Hardaker. You know what I think about Hardaker. I don't think he should have come back anyway. That's not a judgment call on his ability, by the way. That's for other issues. But yeah, I think Sutcliffe has constantly had a bit of a hard rap at Leeds, possibly because he's never been that superstar that we thought potentially he would be. When he played, I remember he played that game when Sinfield was injured. Was it away at Saints? And he did that beautiful kick, and Hanley put it down in the corner.
Ash Hanley, I think he scored 4, didn't he? Definitely got a hat trick.
Yeah, I remember seeing him then and just thinking this lad's going to be the next off the ranks, ready for to replace Sinfield. He never did it, did he? But I think he's almost been. He's probably over the top saying valuable, but he's so versatile and he's barely ever injured. I can remember one long injury that he's had, but he pretty much plays every game wherever it is, and that's probably been his downfall as well as a positive for him because he's never been able to, sort of command one position. But I think he's a big body. He's athletic. He constantly plays. He's a 6 to a 7.5 player out of 10 player every week. He's if we'd have had Sutcliffe to cover for McDonald and Newman, it probably wouldn't have changed the result of the game, but you'd feel much stronger with him there. But I think again he wanted a long deal, didn't he? Which is fair enough. He's at that stage. What is he? Late 20s now, where he'll want that. And if I just think if you're seeing him purely as a centre, it's probably fine to move him on. But I see him more as his versatility. He can play anywhere in the back line. I don't actually think he's great in the halves. He could probably play 6, but he can't play 7. And yeah, at the time I was really disappointed. I think a lot of fans were fine to see him go, but I was really disappointed to see him go.
So I think you're wrong because he never played a consistent position at Leeds. And I think at Hull, him playing centre week in, week out, it will show how good of a player he is. You don't always need players to be flashy. You don't always need them to be superstars. I mean, Warren in the comments is saying he wasn't consistent enough. My argument would be he can't be consistent when he doesn't know what position he's playing every week.
I think he was consistent, personally. And he won a grand final at centre.
He would always, but exactly, Hanley got his record try season. His centre was Liam Sutcliffe.
Yeah. That edge was Gale, Mellor.
That edge was shocking.
Well, Sutcliffe and Hanley had a great partnership, I thought.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they did. But you and so you don't need. So someone on my Twitter today saying you don't need things to win with flashy players. Sutcliffe isn't a flashy player. You've got Newman as your flashy player. You don't, but Sutcliffe would be consistent. He'd do a 7 out of 10 every week. He would score hat tricks like he did against Catalan in the playoffs, and he would make assists. Like, he was a good player. Like, you don't always need flashy players. I just now this is me saying this without seeing Nene. So until I've seen Nene play, and Andrew,
are we ever going to see him play?
And Andrew's saying in the comments that Nene will be not grading attack but not defense. After Thursday night, we need defense, but we
need attack as well.
I can't compare. I will be passionate about Liam Sutcliffe leaving a mistake until I've seen Nene play. Now, Nene might play his first game and be an absolute world, and I'll go, "Who the hell was Liam Sutcliffe?" But at the moment, I'm like,
Yeah, I still think, even if I just think his versatility is invaluable. He is a seasoned.
You'd play him at fullback over
200
games, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would. 200 game player who can play anywhere in the back line is invaluable. I think. I said earlier that Nene was in his 30s. I just looked it up. He's not. He's 28. So
28.
Sorry, Nene. Same age as Liam. So I don't know. We'll see. But Nene's injured. I don't know what his injury record's like. And he's worked with Rowan before, so Rowan obviously knows him well. But Sutcliffe barely missed any games. And with Newman the way he is, we need a quality centre who can play every week. And Sutcliffe was that.
Harry Newman can play like two men, though, can't he? So he can play two positions when he does play. The worrying thing for me about McDonald is, does anyone know when he's coming back? Because every time Rowan has kind of spoken it,
he expects him to be back for the first game of the season, but that was a while ago.
What about all the? I'd like to know about Newman as well and Bentley, because Bentley
exactly. We've got this mysterious James Bentley injury.
There is an article by Peter Smith that talks through the injuries and the Yorkshire Post. There was an article because I asked about it. So there is an article about the injuries and when people.
Does the article give a timeline, or does it just say James Bentley's got a knee injury?
I am going to go find it. So if you want to go talk about something else for a second, and I will post it back.
Do you think Bentley in this? Well, he has to be better than Donaldson. I mean, every back rower we've spoke about, Toby Warren, Leon Ruan. I just couldn't believe when the 17 came out, 18 of it is these days. And James Donaldson's there. I think what does that say to Leon Ruan as in that top performer all pre-season and all the friendlies?
Yeah.
And yet doesn't get the accolade he deserved. Did you think he deserved that spot starting lineup, Josh?
No, I never have. Yeah, sorry, when you asked that question earlier, I was reading one of the comments, so I didn't hear what you said properly. But yeah, I just what the coach is seeing him. He's at best for me. He's a low league, Super League, top league champ. Not even top. He wouldn't make Leeds side last year. Or would he make Featherston's side? Probably not. Not for. I just think his meters are atrocious every game. His tackles are average. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a nice guy, but just. If we want to step forward, if we want to challenge the squad of Warrington, Wigan, Saints, players like James Donaldson aren't starting. They're not starting. They're not even James. As far as I'm concerned, Donaldson's spot is what you give to a young lad.
Leon Ruan, yeah,
someone who will come and play 5 games a year, maybe 10 games a year with injuries, and will do you a job. And you have a bit more grace around it because he's young and he's got potential to grow into something. Whereas Donald's reached his peak. There's no improving Donald. And he's just nothing, is he? I don't know. He's just making up the numbers.
So I found the article. He doesn't give a date, does Rowan, or when they're coming back. What he did say was that Bentley's got a PCL, so a posterior cruciate ligament injury in his knee. But there's no dates on when.
That sounds like a long one.
We don't. There is no dates given. So Peter Smith's reply to me was, "Injured players are on track, but no return date announced."
No return date for any Newman, McDonald, Aledsky, for no one. So Leeds
Can you remember what has Newman done? I can't remember.
What is his thigh?
I've just deleted the article. Hang on.
I think it was his thigh.
Nene was a quad muscle injury.
I think Newman's one as well. I think he.
Newman's is a hamstring.
Oh, it's his hammy. Yeah.
Ledsky's shoulder, and then Hooley's his ankle.
Oh, I forgot about Luke Cooley as well.
Another player that potentially should have a shout. If he was fit, he'd be playing Thursday.
He'd have been in. Yeah,
Friday. Thursday.
It'll have to be Hanley at fullback for me, anyway.
I feel like we always have a bunch of injuries, like more than other teams.
It's not an excuse, though, Josh. It's not an excuse because all teams have injuries.
No, but I was going to say, is there something wrong with our conditioning staff? I feel like we always have injuries. We sign injury-prone players, or do you know what I mean? Like
it's part of the terms. Look, you're a great player. You scored 12 tries and 15 assists last year, but how is that hamstring?
What's the state of your hamstring? How often does it pull?
Sorry, his hamstring's fine. Sorry, we can't offer you this deal, I'm afraid. You have to go sign elsewhere. You have to go sign for Wigan. Looking ahead to Hull to kind of wrap things up for this.
Hull, not Hull.
Sorry, Hull. I know. What the hell was I thinking pronouncing that H? In terms of changes, Reese, what changes would you...
Well, Myler needs to be out.
These are the changes that you would make. Go ahead.
Do you think it depends on injuries?
So if Myler's out, who are you putting in, Reese?
I'd have Hanley at fullback. I'd play wingers on the wing. So I'd have Hanley and Fussy Tua on the wings, and then probably Alforts and Martin.
So who's at fullback?
Hanley. Oh, sorry. Did I say Hanley and Fussy Tua?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd put Hanley at fullback.
Yep.
Oh, hang on a minute. I'm confusing myself. Probably Roberts and Fussy Tua on the wings.
Yep. With
Martin and Alforts at centre.
Yeah, that'd be mine as well.
That's mine, but mine. I'd keep Alforts on the wing and Roberts at centre with Martin. It's a slight difference.
Right,
and
then I'd.
Sorry to interrupt, Reese. Did anyone see how did Liam Tyndall do in pre-season? He's kind of just disappeared a bit.
You're asking two blokes who never watched the pre-season game.
We got away with that, all those pods.
we reviewed them all, but we didn't watch one game.
I honestly would have to ask someone. I'm assuming someone in the comments.
Down the pecking order, hasn't he?
And Andrew might be able to tell us in the comments.
He has now. He has
about Tyndall. I'm not sure. So that's the changes I'm making to the back line. I mean, Tyndall should be there and thereabouts, really. But I thought Roberts looked quite strong, to be fair.
Yeah,
I would. So Andrew, literally on cue, Andrew just said Tyndall was okay, nothing stand out.
Probably enough to get in, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd move Caesar to the bench, and I'd put Leeming in the halves, starting Jared.
Sinfield on the bench.
No, I'd probably have Caesar still on the bench, maybe once, just to because he might come on and change the game. You just don't know, but. And that's probably what I'd do in terms of the big changes. I mean, interesting. I spoke to the rugby league blogger on Twitter, and he's a big Hull FC fan for his sins. And he was saying that Clifford was crazy good. I mean, apparently, really testing kicks, really good running game, fast, which he didn't expect. And he also said Tex Hoy was good under the bombs, really good running game, Defensively, pretty sloppy, but most of the time was pretty good. So, because I know we were talking about Textoy and Clifford because we had no idea what to expect from them really. So, but they're the changes I would make. So, Hanley at fullback, bring Martin into the centres, bolster that back row, and I'd have Leon Ruan on the bench as well, and I'd be taking Caesar out, and I'd be putting Cruz Leeming on the at half.
Do you agree with that, Josh?
I agree with most of it, I think. I would have, I'd have the back line. At the back line, I'd have the same. I would have Roberts on the wing. So Roberts, Alford, Hanley on the Martin, and
Fussy.
Fussy. Yeah. And then I would have Leeming at 7, and I would have Austin at 6 because I don't think Austin's a 7. And then I would have O'Connor starting 9 with who did you have in? Name your props again, Reese.
I didn't name the props, to be fair.
Just name the changes.
I would be having Sangare and Holroyd starting props, and I'd move Tetivano to second row.
Second row.
Because if you're moving Martin out, you'd probably put Tetivano and Norgan Gannon at second row. And I'd be starting Cam Smith.
Yeah, he was on. I would. He was on the bench, wasn't he? I don't think I would. If it was me, I think I would drop Myler and Austin. I don't think I'd carry him on the. Or maybe you have to carry one on the bench. I was thinking that Cammy. He's a ball player and he could maybe cover some of those positions. But yeah, maybe you have to have one. I would either have Sinfield or
Morgan Gannon,
Caesar on the bench. I don't think it's that.
Gannon at the halfbacks. That's what we're missing.
Well, he'd be 6, wouldn't he? I don't think it's that ridiculous to see Gannon at 6. Like Elliot Whitehead played 6 for nearly a full season for the Raiders a year ago when they had injuries, and he did really well. If you cut it back to basics and just have a runner at 6, who can pass the ball as cover, I don't think it's that ridiculous, to be totally honest. It's something we get stuck on over here. We lump the halfbacks, the halves as one position, where it's such a different position. Obviously we know the difference between 6 and 7, but over here it's just talked about as one position, I feel. Whereas over in the NRL, it's considered 2 completely different positions.
Yeah.
You would, for example, all of last year, there was such a big debate at the Roosters because they were playing Walker at 6 and Keary at 7. When Walker's played all his junior career at 7 and Keary is at 6, and it didn't work. And then 2/3 of the way through the year, Trent Robinson swaps them around, so the rookie starts to play 7, and they're so much better. They see it as 2 totally different positions. Whereas here we kind of just dumb ourselves down a bit, I think, do a bit of a disservice and just lump them in as one position. So when he mentioned Gannon playing 6, obviously it's not ideal, but there's maybe a 3rd or 4th choice there. Just to have a big runner, ball runner, strong athletic runner at 6, if you've got a proper controlling half, would probably work fine for the few games that he'd be in.
I agree. Prediction, Josh? Leeds v All prediction?
Leeds by 40.
Nice. He can come back on. He's on next week.
No, I think... I do think it'd be tough because I love Tony Smith. I think he's brilliant. Yeah. I know they sort of capitulated today, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they've got players who can punch the line, so our defence is going to have to be good. Jake Clifford and Tex Hoy played together at the Knights, I believe.
280s cops.
Yeah, sorry. So they'll have a combination already, I think.
Prediction, Josh?
Well, I'm obviously going to back us. I'll say by 4. I think it's going to be close.
Oh, close. Reese?
Rhinos by 2.
You two? Oh, my God. I'll say, just to wrap things up, thanks to Josh. Thanks to Reese, as always, for coming on. Thanks to you guys for listening, for watching. We will be back to review the whole game, the Rhinos will win by 28 points. Heard it here first. Thank you, everybody. Oh, there's one thing that we haven't mentioned at all. If we'd both like to talk about it. Penrith versus Saints in the World Club Challenge. Should we talk about this?
Nope.
Nah.
All right. See you next week, everybody.